Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the March 23rd, 2026 council meeting. Mayor Murphy is in transit to Winnipeg. He has a meeting at the legislation building, Oh, a minute. We're getting some feedback. Okay, there, we'll try that again. He has a meeting tomorrow and with the crew from the legislative building and will be present for the budget. I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 5 territory, the traditional lands of our neighbors, the Passamaquoddy Nation, as well as many Cree, Dene, and OG Cree people, and it's the homeland of the Red River Métis. And we'll call tonight's meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. And before we start our regular meeting, I'd like to send our heartfelt condolences to Amanda G. Lapland's loved ones in the paw of Passamaquoddy Nation and across the province of Manitoba. We are all deeply saddened by Amanda's sudden passing. Not only was Amanda our MLA and colleague, she was also our friend. Amanda started breaking barriers in the North as the first Indigenous woman elected in 2015 to serve in the provincial legislature. Amanda brought forward legislation to provide strong services for sexual assault survivors in the North, as well as a compassionate leave for those who miscarry. Amanda was extremely proud, as she should be, and shared her journey bringing these forward. We shared our passion for Oscar's Place, named after her late father, Oscar Lapland. Amanda always greeted you with a hug. We will miss her dedication, her leadership, and her compassion. The legacy Amanda created will not be forgotten. And we all hope you rest easy, Amanda. Your work is completed. Is there any other member who would like to say anything?
Deputy Mayor, it's before I know Councillor Hopper would like to say something, but I don't know if you can hear me. I would also, just want to pass on my deepest condolence to all of Amanda's loved ones.
Before I know Councillor Hopper, but I don't know if you can hear me. I would also, just want to pass on my deepest condolence to all.
The thing, I'm getting an echo, I'm getting my feedback, but so I just wanted to say one thing is that, the one thing about Amanda is that her unwavering efforts to advance the North and to care about our communities in Northern Manitoba is one thing that was outstanding. And I want to just share sort of a personal reflection of the one time we were meeting at the legislative building with the Minister of Health and how passionate she was to drive the need for healthcare and improvements within our community. She really was looking after and serving for the betterment of all of the people in the North. So as you've mentioned, she did leave her mark, and her voice will be deeply missed.
Thank you.
I'll just echo both your sentiments there. When Amanda was first elected, her daughter was in grade 4, and Amanda was getting used to the travel back and forth to Winnipeg and trying to balance family life and a new work job, and had a lot of problems in her own personal health. She had lots of battles, but as you mentioned, every time you did see her, she was always smiling and always gave you knew everybody's first name. She was an advocate for the North for sure. It's going to be a big loss. She picked up where her dad left off, and now she's with her dad. So our condolences for her family that she leaves behind, her newest granddaughter and her daughter. And it's a big loss. And but she did leave her mark in central North Manitoba for the constituency, and that will be carried on for years to come.
Thank you.
I'd like to request a moment of silence from you for
Yeah, if everybody is done, if anybody else has anything else that they would like to add.
I would just kind of echo again what everybody else here said. The one thing that did stick with me and Councillor Hopper did mention is she always knew everybody by their first name.
Yes.
I was reading a lot of the condolences online on social media yesterday and today, and read Walk News statement, and that's one thing he pointed out the first time he came here for Truckers Festival was Amanda knew everybody by their first name and introduced him to everybody. She's like, she knew, had a mental Rolodex of everybody in the community. And, you know, my personal interactions with her were probably not as significant as both of yours, but whenever I ran into Amanda, she'll really give you a hug. That was the first way she greeted you, and she was always asking me about my kids. She knew all about them. She followed on Facebook with my posts and stuff. She just almost seemed to live vicariously through other people because she just had such a joy for children. So it's extremely sad to see her passing. I wasn't aware she was as ill as she was, and I do pass my condolences on to her family, her children, and to everybody that had a positive connection with her, which is probably countless people.
Thank you. I would also like to add that at 11 Farmer Road, there was a sacred fire burning. If somebody would like to go out there, everyone is welcome. And I think if we're all completed, then we'll all stand and we'll do a moment of silence for Amanda. Thank you. Margaret, pardon me. Oh, goodness. Councillor Commodore has sent her regrets, and as I had mentioned earlier, Mayor Murphy is online. All of the council members are in attendance, looking for an adoption of the agenda.
Not seeing any additions. Resolve that the move by myself, second by Councillor Allen, resolve that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Call the question. Hearing none. In favor? Carried.
Aye.
Confirmation of the minutes.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Allen, minutes of the regular council meeting of March 9th, September, special budget meeting of March 16th, and the special council meeting of March 20th, 2026, be hereby be approved, all statutory declarations in black.
Call the question. Hearing none. In
Aye.
favor? Carried. Okay. Recognition period. I'm going to let somebody go first.
Oh, I was gonna say, if we could, maybe we could ask our municipal superintendent to come up and do his best Vanna White for this lovely banner that he hung up here.
Yeah, I didn't ask permission, so I apologize if it was inappropriate, but I'm the assistant coach in the senior varsity NBCI girls basketball team. This past weekend, we had the privilege of playing in provincials in Gimli, and for those of you that watched, it was as stressful as you watched on the video as it was in person. We snuck out our first game in the first round by 1 point in overtime, and then won by 4 points in the semifinals, and then won a pretty spectacular game in overtime against the number 1 seed Service Sabres in the finals to win the banner. Incredibly proud of those young men. This is, by my understanding, the first senior varsity boys provincial banner in basketball in NBCI history. So a little bit of nostalgia for us, and really proud of those kids. for all the stress they put me through. It was a hell of a weekend, heck of a weekend, and something I'll remember forever. So.
Oh, well done.
Congratulations.
Simon, if you could plug yourself a little bit, how many years have you been working with some of these boys?
Well, I've been coaching since I moved back to the Paw 11.5 years ago, but Darcy and I have been coaching together for Darcy Hanchuk and also a shout out to our general manager, Kobe Hanchuk, he's also a shining star in this. Been 10 full seasons of coaching. We had a group, we started with grade 7, went through till grade 12 with them. This group from grade 9 to grade 12 now. We've been with this group for 4 years. I've been corrected. I thought I would have been wrong with so it's 7 straight zone championships. 1 year COVID obviously was canceled. We were lucky enough to have very strong teams, and we've remained undefeated even at zones. We haven't even lost a game in those 7 years. So
Actually, 8 years, that count COVID too.
we would also like to count COVID, and there should have been a few more banners. We unfortunately COVID not, but it's a testament to the hours and effort that Darcy and his wife Kobe put in this, even with a young family. They sacrifice a lot for what they do. So shout out to them. I just am along for the ride and riding on their coattails. So they deserve a lot of appreciation from everyone, the kids, the community, for all the work they put into it. So.
Well, I think you sold yourself short again because you left out small ball. So some of these kids, you've been working with some of them since they were 8 years old or 7 years old.
They showed me some videos of, they're like, look how young you look in those videos, like, look how thin I look in those videos and how much more hair I have. So that was a kind of a sweet moment to kind of, thanks for reminding me. They showed me the video when they were in small ball. So this is the last group, I believe, that we coached in that Steve Nash program originally that have come through this kind of a wave of talent. So yeah, just feeling pretty nostalgic yesterday on the drive. So.
Well, I heard you had a 10-year contract, so you still have 5 to go.
I'm used to it.
I told the athletic director I have a list of demands, so I don't think they're gonna bite on it.
KFC's closed.
Yeah, devastating.
Hey, Sam, so I think Randy sort of mentioned it too, but I do want to say, and as I mentioned to you over the weekend, you know, you guys are really, this was really does make a big difference within our community with our youth, you know, building really lifelong friends and forever memories, and it helps overall. So, you know, I think that you guys sort of undersell yourself or underfly your flag, but between you and all your other coaches, Darcy and his wife and the parents and that, well done, something to be proud of.
Thanks for letting us hang the banner here tonight.
We're glad that you brought it. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I was thinking you're running out of room at the gym and that's why you brought it.
Oh, I should have used that line. That was good. Take a minute.
Does anyone else have anything for recognition period?
I got to attend the Cadets Easter event, and I've really got to some younger kids. I've attended a few of those in recent years, and I walked into the Legion this year and there's like 200 people in there, and it was, for a parent, it was a zoo. For kids, it was heaven, and they had the best time.
Good. And
my kids walked out with those 28 stuffies, and yeah, they can't wait. Oh yeah, they had an adopted pet there, which is stuffed animals, and
fun.
they went in to get 2 and they came up with a
Wow.
yeah, it was a great event. And unfortunately our public works people just left, but I was just gonna say kudos to them, because I'm sure they're getting quite a few phone calls today with the streets and whatnot, thanks to our weather and melting and causing the ruts around town, but they are clearing snow. I did see them doing that today, so if anybody's watching, be patient, it will go away.
Thank you. Also-
Deputy Mayor, sorry, I'll just add when you're. No, I was just gonna mention the Derek Fontaine Memorial Tournament wrapped up their sort of final year this year. They had a lot of teams within the community. The town was buzzing. You know, really thankful to the Fontaine family for all the work that they put into that. And also, you know, it's in good memory of Derek, who was a great man and cared a lot about hockey and about the youth and such. So well done on that. And one of the recognition was the local over 40 team actually won the rec division. So the Paw Huskies had won that part of the tournament. So congratulations to those old fellas for the big win.
Thank you. We also have a certificate of appreciation here that was presented to the town of the Paw in recognition of her contribution to the Manitoba Métis Federation, the Paw Region 25th Annual Métis Family Fun Night. This is an event that takes place during Trappers Festival, and it is a must. If somebody has never went, fortunately, I didn't make it there this year, but it is definitely a family fun night. And if you go, you will never forget it, and you'll always want to go back. So we thank them for presenting us with this certificate. And we'll also send a shout out to Passaic Cree Nation Fire Department, as well as our Town of the Paw Fire Department, that put on an emergency measures operations on Saturday at the Roy H. Arena. That was to help you prepare for the hopefully not upcoming wildfire season. They had a bunch of pamphlets that everybody was quite interested in. Unfortunately, I had to leave a little bit early, but if anybody is wanting to get their hands on any of those pamphlets, they could come down to the town office and they could be shared from here.
Just carry on the line of sports, the U13 hockey boys, girls were they were in Brandon on the weekend. I think they didn't have any losses. And U15 were in Dauphin, and I think they won a couple. I think they lost one or two, but won by 1 goal. So they were playing against a Southern team. So those teams did very well. I think those are the rec teams. So I think they're done for the year now. But again, seems every meeting we're talking about the youth, and without the parents and volunteers and the coaches, we wouldn't have a lot to talk about. So this was to them.
For sure.
Yeah, Councillor Hopper,
Congratulations.
that's a good segue, Councillor Hopper, into the M30 tournament that's planned this weekend. So there'll be a lot more youth in town. So appreciate our volunteers.
Perfect. Okay. Anyone else have anything for recognition period? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to department resolutions. CSO vehicle resolution.
Resolution number 2026-047, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Hopper, resolved the council approve the purchase of a 2023 Dodge Ram 1500 Tradesman from Twin Motors in the amount of $45,840.48, taxes included.
And just a reminder that that $30,000 of this is coming from a grant. Call the question. In favor?
Aye.
It is carried. Okay. Wananesa Community Wildfire Prevention Agreement.
Resolution number 2026-048, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Hopper, resolved that council authorize mayor and chief administrative officer to sign the funding agreement with Wananesa Insurance in the amount of $20,000 for the development of a wildfire protection plan for the town of La Paw.
Call the question. Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Cultural Center Edition.
Resolution number 2026-049, moved by Councillor Manich, second by Councillor Forster. Resolved that council authorize the purchase of the property municipally known as 226 Edwards Avenue as a revised purchase price of $100,000 and accept $10,000 donation from the seller, resulting in a net purchase cost of $90,000 as originally approved, and further authorize mayor and chief administrative officer to sign all documents necessary to complete the transaction.
Thank you. And this is the building that is next door to where the Lido was, for anyone who's curious as to the exact address. Call the question? Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous and it is carried. Airport support vehicle resolution.
Resolution number 2026-050, moved by Councillor Manich, second by Councillor Forster. Resolved that council approve the purchase of a new vehicle from Selkirk GM in an amount of $74,748, plus applicable taxes, inclusive of delivery, reflective logos, and vehicle identification label, staff 21.
And 3 quotes were received for this. And I am calling to question.
I have a few questions
Certainly.
actually. I don't know if the, Trevor's obviously online, if there was an RFQ sent out for that. We have 3 dealerships in town. The first time we've seen us buying something, a vehicle out of town, Selkirk. The question on that is, for warranty work and whatnot, I would be embarrassed to, personally be embarrassed, maybe the town might not be, but buy a vehicle out of town, bring it to a local dealer for warranty work. I'm not in favor of this. And if we want to put it on hold for now or vote on it, but personally, I'll be voting against it, and I'll ask for a recorded vote. I would go with the next tender, next lowest.
I'd like to say something as well. Fully agree with you, Counselor. Especially the price difference doesn't make sense to me that we would go out of town and then have to transport the vehicle someplace else or go to Twin Motors. And we should be supporting our local businesses. I realize we did the first one, but I think we should continue to do so.
And I'll echo that as well. Difference of $1,700. We do have the right to refuse that top price. So I would suggest keeping it local.
We just follow the tender policy.
Sorry?
We follow the policy of this town.
Yeah, we do have the right to not.
But you're going to not be accepted.
Yeah.
I know they need the vehicle fairly soon, so what I'd like to do is amend the resolution. Or you can just defeat it and do another one, but if you want to amend it, just change it. I would just defeat this but I was told I'd like to bring forward a motion to approve the next lowest on the tender this evening, so that it does go through.
Is that possible to do? All right. I agree.
So we'll amend it.
So we will vote on this one first or amend this.
We can amend, well, we can't amend it because that changes it drastically. So we have to vote on this.
Yeah,
and-
that's what I thought.
Still good.
Yeah. Okay, so we have called to question and in favor. And is this a recorded vote? Are you requesting that or no?
I don't think I need it. No.
Okay. I don't hear anyone is in favor, so this resolution is not carried. Yes, it is not carried.
So same thing with the resolution in front of you.
I think you need to actually ask for opposed, just to make sure nobody's abstained.
I thought I did. Oh,
You don't
okay,
need to.
no, did I just ask in favor? Okay, opposed, sorry. It's still not carried there. Okay. So then will somebody make up a new resolution for tonight? Or will we,
Pass with that.
you're gonna do it? Okay. All right then. So in the meantime, are we moving on to the asphalt cutter? You wanna do that? We can do this now.
Yeah, I think we need to. Because we moved, then it's we bypassed on the agenda.
Well, it wasn't added.
Let's see,
No, it's just continue.
Twin Motors was the next one.
what's next lowest?
Twin Motors, I'll give you the number.
70.
For the votes.
It is $76,495 52 cents. 76,495.52.
Second.
Okay, sure.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Allen. Resolve the council approve the purchase of new vehicle from Twin Motors of the PAW in the amount of $76,495.52 plus the applicable taxes includes delivery, reflective logos, and vehicle identification label staff 2-1. So basically the same.
Call the question. Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
Carried. I'm not sure how to do this. I'll just do it up there. Yeah,
That's just the information.
perfect. Okay. Asphalt cutter resolution.
Resolution number 2026-051, moved by Councillor Manich, seconded by Councillor Forster. Resolved that council approve the procurement of asphalt cutter walk behind from United Rentals of Canada in the amount of $15,444.80, including tax and delivery, and that the cost is funded for the machinery and operation reserve.
Call the question. Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
And that is carried as well. Okay, plate compactor.
Resolution number 2026-052, moved by Councillor Manich, seconded by Councillor Forster. Resolved that council approve the procurement of a walk behind plate packer from Timberland Supply Inc. in the amount of $3,931.88, including taxes and delivery, with funding to be drawn from machinery operating reserve.
Call the question. Hearing none, in favor? Carried. Okay. Start program community mobilization contract. This is for the coordinator's position as well as the mental health worker that will be running out of the RCMP detachment here in town and is at zero cost to the community, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Asking to support our community for mental health.
Resolution number 2026-053, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manich. Be resolved, the council approve the community mobilization contract under the START program and authorize Chief Administration Officer to sign the agreement.
Call the question. Hearing none. In favor?
Aye.
And that is carried.
And just one note on there, sorry, I might have missed it if you talked about, but this is a huge benefit for our community. And I don't know if you shared the sort of what this is going to look like in the future.
I didn't, Mayor Murphy, if you'd like to add,
Yeah.
you.
So if anybody's looking, you can look up the START program. It's running in other municipalities within Manitoba. This gets funded through Manitoba Justice, but it really does, if you want to look in Selkirk has a very similar program that will be started. And this really does help people that are maybe struggling out there, helps students. So it's a great program that works hand in hand with the RCMP. Their offices will be in the RCMP building, and we will have a mental health worker now that's funded and tied directly to that program, which will help many other people throughout our community. So I'm pretty excited that we can get something like this going.
Thank you. It is exciting, 100% it is, and I should have added that in as well, so thanks. Okay, so now we are on to extension of the, excuse me, the 2026 financial plan resolution.
Resolution number 2026-054, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Granich. Be resolved, council approves the request for an extension to submit the 2026 financial plan.
Call question?
Is that a question? I think it would be appropriate to have the date in there, June 30th. Extension, just a friendly amendment. Otherwise, no one knows what you're talking about.
Councillor Hopper, I believe we're approving that letter that's attached, that has the date, moving it from May 15th to June 30th, but I guess we could make that comment of connecting the letter.
It does read June 30th in the letter.
The letter's attached.
Yes, the letter is here, 100%, yes. Mayor Murphy, am I signing this letter as well, or is it waiting for you to come back?
Council's name is there waiting there.
Whatever works, whatever urgency or timelines on it for BOLA, I'm hoping to be
Okay.
back in the next day or so.
Okay, call the question. Hearing none, in favor?
Aye.
Everyone is in favor. It is carried. Well, I'm gonna leave it unsigned, just in case. You don't have to redo it. Okay, now payroll and accounts.
Resolution number 2026-055, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Matthews. Be resolved, council authorize the following accounts. Period number 06 in the amount of $147,802.59. General checks number 33225 to 33254 in the amount of $75,186. EFTS in the amount of $361,242.06.
Thank you. Call a question? Yes.
Two questions. There's a check in there for the co-op for 25,000 or so. What did we build or buy?
I don't think I signed anything to call up. I don't think I wouldn't have.
25,773.
Yes.
78.
Check 2611.
And while you're looking for that, I guess the next question would be to the BOLA. I don't need the agenda tonight, but the reservoir on the payables, you want to correct it. So you always do that. The BOLA has checks and balances for that to find the error and correct it. I'm just wondering if maybe next meeting we could tell us what those checks and balances are. Is it paid on signed invoice by somebody for some department, or is it just kind of how it happened and what checks and balances are in there? Obviously, they do work. It's a little late this time, but it's still, it's costs.
I'm pretty sure I didn't sign a check for that amount. I wouldn't have signed that one.
2611.
Again, there's not a check in here for that amount.
It just seemed a little high, but it's normal. Again, I'm not gonna hold it up, but they're saying the check's not in there.
No. No, I know I didn't sign a check for that amount.
$2611.
Okay.
I know I didn't sign one for that amount, and I wouldn't have actually signed a check if it would have read co-op on it.
Okay, we'll go.
Yeah, there isn't one in here.
I believe, when you see those big checks for co-op, it might be an EFT, that's propane. That's why it's such a large amount.
Yeah.
So if, I'm like 99% sure it's a propane bill, not a co-op hardware store bill.
That makes sense. If it's wrong, it'll be a payroll deduction on your behalf.
Yeah. It would have to be an EFT. There isn't a check in here. I know I didn't sign
Okay.
up for that amount.
You could take it out of my pay for the next 5 years.
Right?
Okay. In favor? That's
Aye.
everyone. And that is carried. Okay. Reports of committees and boards. We're gonna let you go first. So you have to go at 7, then that way you'll get your report in for sure.
As Sam mentioned earlier, we'd like to give a huge congratulations to the senior varsity boys. They created school history, and it was just really refreshing to see them walk into the school with their medals and t-shirts. That's also really promising for the future of MBCI. Our band is going to be performing tomorrow at Pasqua and Kelsey School to perform an early years tour to hopefully get some more students in band in the future years. Spring break is going to be happening from March 28th to April 6th. And last day of classes is this Friday. And today the French immersion students, or grade 12 students, helped out at Pasqua to also help promote the French language and keep more students in French, hopefully until they graduate.
Thank you. And congratulations to everyone once again. So now we have the April 2026 CSO patrol schedule. Did anyone have any questions around that?
I want to say something. The reason why I'm bringing this to council is to make sure that we improve our level of services. I've received some calls regarding we working like 4 days a week or 5 days a week. So with this, we'll be working 6 days. So we'll try to increase it, and this is just a new schedule for council as well as the.
Does anyone have any questions for Bola around it?
Just further down on their stats. It's not in the first part, but in their stats further on committee reports. I just wondered, did they ever catch those 2 Dodges? That's all I'm saying is they should use spell check before they submit you to you. And on the parking, what I'd like to see on there, if possible, it shows that 78% of the tickets are still outstanding for parking.
Yes.
Just to break down maybe on what is the standard? Is it like 30 days to pay your ticket? And then what step does it go through? Like, and are these just for 2 months, or is it 42 were issued? Some were paid right away, but a small percentage. Just wondering how that's set up for the collection, and where does it go from here?
Yeah, what percentage is actually overdue? I'd be curious about.
Like that all might be within the 30 days, I don't know. Or obviously they all weren't given out in 1 day, so.
Duration for the payments.
And the same on the schedules, the schedules A and B that were sent out, maybe an update on where we're at those. They were sent out, and we have high compliance. I know one property on Gordon Avenue has several appear to be derelict vehicles in the yard, and this was talked about a number of months ago, so I'm not sure where that is. There's probably more like that. There's not much sense having bylaws if we're not going to enforce them.
Are there
Could
any-
I just could I just ask a question around the parking too? Like, I'm sure there's some sort of strategy on that. Is there when, well, like, I know that we're not trying to ticket like blank, just running around town, just randomly ticketing people. And I would expect that there's a priority of areas that are causing the most grief, like downtown, where you see snowbanks around cars that have been there for months and months and months. Is there any reason why we just don't tow them after a certain period of time? I do hear some challenges, but I know Sam's in the room. Maybe he could share.
He's not here.
Okay,
It's-
well, I understand that the reason why we don't tow vehicles is we have no place to tow them to. Because there's a bunch of vehicles that we've towed before still sitting in our compound. And so I'm wondering what the process is to either auction those vehicles off, send them to a wrecker, sell them to recover our costs. And maybe there should be some sort of strategy on that going forward. Because I don't think, I know there's areas that are higher problem areas within town that parking violations are taking place all the time. And I'm not sure if ticketing is the perfect way of getting repeat violators.
Just on that, Mayor, when I was previously doing apartment management, there was vehicles that I had towed, and they became the responsibility of the towing company. If the people didn't come and pay the tow charge, we would pay it. But ultimately, if they wanted their vehicle back, they would have to pay the storage fees to the tow company, minus maybe the tow cost. And they both, the ones in town here, have fairly large compounds for that. So I don't think we want them put in our compound for obvious reasons. You're gonna have somebody might try and break in there after.
Yeah.
Maybe
My understanding is, Councillor, that our compound's already full of vehicles that have been towed. So I'm just wondering what the plan is, if we don't do that. That's all.
I'm gonna suggest something that was explored years ago were boots that go to the wheel. Put the boot on, it doesn't get removed till you pay that fine. It would be a way to definitely deter, because again, we don't have a lot of teeth in our bylaws or in our tickets. Boots are only about $300. You hand out 6 tickets and the boot is paid for. So that'd be a recommended way to try to address it and take the tow trucks out of it. Unless necessary, right, to really get them out of the way when they are sitting for months at a time.
Yeah, we have been working with Citgo company, but I think they don't have space for.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you put the boot on it, basically the CSOs attach that boot once they're in violation.
Yes.
And it's not something you'd want to do for a regular guy that just makes a mistake, right? There's always explanation. But the habitual routine people that are doing that, we need to send a stronger message. As we're seeing by the paying of tickets, you only have the honest people that are coming and paying, and the others are saying, town's not gonna do much. So having a boot attached to tire and then attaching a administration fee to it for them to remove it, because it will take our CSOs away from what they're doing to go and remove it.
Simpler than towing.
It's simpler than towing, and it doesn't take up space at our yard, doesn't involve other incidents, so I'd recommend a boot. Maybe that can come forward and be explored.
Maybe we need to review all that as well.
Look at that, like, if Samara mentioned that we have a bunch of vehicles in the thing that we should try and get rid of them somehow.
Yeah.
I'll figure that out, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually talking to our area, because there's some documentation that has to be done. In order to remove the vehicles.
There is a garage act, but I don't know if it would apply to the town too. When vehicles are put into a compound after they've been there for a significant amount of time, you can apply to take ownership of the vehicle. And once you take ownership of it, you can do what you see fit with it. You can auction it, you can sell it or part it out or send it to a crusher.
I think we look at that boot idea, that would be.
So Bola, you'll have a conversation with Mike around
Yes,
that
absolutely.
possibility? Okay,
discuss with, right? And I have to involve our control Watson, because she has been talking to Maria.
Okay,
Then I'll bring updates on that to council.
good, thank you. So does anyone have any questions around the CSO patrol schedule, since that's kind of where we are?
I like it. I'm looking at it and the days it's changed and the hours and stuff. I'm in favor of it.
Yes, the community was asking for more hours and more coverage, so it's a good start.
Okay,
I guess, just thought of now, one question I do have, so there is our CSO manager and then the two officers, correct?
Yes,
So is the CSO officer patrolling by himself?
so the man, no, all the officers, so the two of them will be patrolling together.
Yeah,
Yes,
because the schedule here that I'm looking at says CSO officer 11 to 7, CSO manager 8:30 to 4:30, so I'm assuming somebody's patrolling by themselves.
the CSO manager will be doing the skeleton patrol himself, especially in the morning, from 8:30 to 11. Have to have somebody else, especially downtown area, so we'll be patrolling by themselves. I've had that discussion with him.
And that I'm just bringing this up because I thought the discussion was that they needed to be in pairs, so this individual is by himself, what's being done to make sure it's all safe and everything?
Yes, I had that discussion with him, because I've been going alone, and he said it's okay with him to do that. Because it's not really a full patrol like others, that if he needs a come.
so he has the option to phone the RCMP if need be.
I discussed that with him, and it's between, even though it's a short time, but like 2-3 hours. for him.
So it's okay with him, but is it okay? Like, we're not gonna have any liability or anything over that if something does happen?
As long as he doesn't put himself at risk and he's been told to not do anything that requires two people, I think it's fine. I think Bola or Mike had mentioned, if he needs to get out of the vehicle to deal with somebody, it's really about being present. But if he has to, he'll have to call the RCMP.
February 2026 management report. Any highlights, lowlights in there, Bola, you'd like to share? Anybody? We don't have any managers present, so. Did council have any questions?
I think Councillor Hopper actually asked all my questions. Remind me.
Okay, so then we'll move on to your CAO report, Bola.
Okay. So this is the summary of what I've been able to do in the month of February. Just part of it, there are some that I did do stuff I wasn't able to do. So like I sectionalized it into 5 categories. This is a summary of everything. There are other things that's going on included.
Does anyone have any questions for Bola?
What do you do in your spare time?
I wish I had this spare time.
I'm gonna say that'd be an easy one. Throw it out there.
Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. It's
Good report.
I didn't include my lunch time though, so I go for lunch.
Mayor Murphy, did you have any questions?
No,
Okay. Red Cross office.
Yes, I would like to update council on that, and I would like to thank Red Cross. They've been here for long before I started here, and I called them that we needed especially for the new position we posted CSWP coordinator, and I called them like today, and the following day they came from Thompson. They removed everything, and their room is available now.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're on to mayor and council updates. Museum board, Councillor Commodore is not here. Chamber of Commerce.
No meeting since last meeting or last update. Next meeting is April 1st at 6 p.m. at UCN Boardroom.
Thank you. CDC, Mayor Murphy, do you have anything to add?
Councillor Hopper has it.
Oh, that's right. Let's put his name.
Although I was in Winnipeg for missed the meeting, but I have the notes here, so just to bullet form here, Jonathan is continues engagement with actually with Rona and Home Hardware, just looking on possibility of when they come to town, if they come to town, land requirements. Riverfront project, are still talking to individual companies who are interested in the possibility of securing land there for a hotel. Again, this is in the early stages. Northern Lights Seniors Nonprofit Housing Co-op, they're continuing engagement with them. They have agreed on a site, and that'll be coming forward to council again. Assisting with assisted living facility, John will revisit the site and decide whether to move ahead with the project. Looking at some issues with the KFC following ongoing developments, possible closure, potential takeover of the franchise by new owners. And so basically changing hands if that happens. The current owner passed away. Uptown Mall, Dollarama, Bed Valley developments are still moving forward. They were told us earlier in the first quarter of 2026, so hoping to see something by the end of April going. Conversion at Good Times is ongoing. Land development planning, continuing engagement with discussions with Color Serve project, the leaders on this project. 237 Fisher Avenue, not sure which one that is. Ongoing discussions with potential retail opportunities. Storefront improvements, they're still moving forward with that in 2026. And in transportation sector, still ongoing discussions and information sessions with federal government on Arctic Gateway and the Port of Churchill, as well as rail developments for the thaw. And I know it's not part of the CDC, but there's a planning meeting Wednesday morning, planning district meeting Wednesday morning at 9:30, I believe, at the DRM office. And that's to do with the rezoning area known as Valley View Trailer Court to accommodate the new initiative that's going to take place there.
That's a lot. Destination marketing,
No meeting until April.
April. Cedar Lake, we haven't had a meeting, but Vision Quest registration is open and ready to roll. Whoever is interested, you can find that all online. And if you can't find it, then you can reach out and I will help you. Recycling board, we meet tomorrow. No, pardon me, Thursday. We have another meeting on Thursday. And library board.
Just to note,
Oh, yes.
you're probably already aware, I did mention to Mayor Murphy that there is a recycling trailer at Clearwater Lake, Sunset Beach. And as a Cormorant on Saturday, there's a recycling trailer there as well.
Are they full?
One in, yeah, I'd say. Full.
Yeah.
One in Cormorant as well.
The current and the lake. Thank you. Library board.
I've not been advised of them. Date for the next hopeful meeting.
Just one thing on the library board, there was some, I think on one of the reports I saw somewhere about the front door. Work being done on the front door, being ordered and coming in. I did talk to the contractor there, and the door is in. They're just waiting. I think it has to be do some painting on the door to alleviate closing the library for an extended period of time. They want to try and get it done, like say one morning or something. But the door is in, and the difficulty getting in the wrong one in there or something at one point. But it's go ahead now.
Good. Kelsey School Division, there is nothing there, and you did yours already. So thank you. It is 6:54. 4. And I think we are all completed with our reports unless somebody else has something else they want to add in for something they've attended.
Just one note, Canada Day meeting tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the A&W. So if anybody's interested in attending that. I did also attend a meeting last week with Prairie Cans to talk about innovative housing solutions and some information on defense contractors. Really high level stuff, maybe more information to come in the future.
Just meant to ask this when Councillor Manage was doing the chamber report. This council's feeling on it. I would like to see a letter written to the chamber from mayor and council requesting support for a rezoning effort on the riverbank. Years ago, that was done. Got a letter from the chamber, got a letter from OCN. So I think it just helps us to move forward.
I'll bring it forward on the meeting.
It's already there. It's all perfect.
Anything else to add?
Reminder, the meeting on Wednesday. The hearing. This Wednesday, 25th. 5 o'clock.
Public hearing for the.
Yes, the public hearing is on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Unfinished business. Any questions in there?
I'm just gonna hound on it again. I would like to see the agreement for the RHA in there. Typically our agreements have an increase, about 3% each year, so we've potentially lost out on 6% of revenue to cover the costs of our facility. So I'd really like to see that contract definitely in place sometime soon.
Yes, I have already had a discussion with the departments, so they'll be having more very soon. So they would like to meet first before they get back to me.
Any other questions? Citizens period, we do not have any, so we will move into the committee of the whole.
Be resolved that we do now move ourselves into the committee of the whole with Deputy Mayor Atkinson in the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
Valley Fiber Telecom. Jonathan has brought this forward, my recommendation, and I'll wait to hear from other council members as well, is that this.
Yeah, I could speak to this if you like,
Sure.
Council or Deputy
Yeah,
Mayor.
okay.
Yeah, so Valley Fiber engaged the CDC and the community a number of months back. What they're looking to do is, if you can see that, is to bring fiber to areas within our community, sort of competition for Bell MTS, more or less. And also to try to bring high-speed internet to the lake area, to our airport lots. So this is the right-of-way agreement and the agreement to sort of move forward. What my suggestion would be is that if you look at this, I believe that Valley Fiber will be responsible for all legal costs. So what I would suggest that we make contact with them, and we should send this to our municipal lawyer to ensure that we're not missing anything. Because one thing that I picked up in there, maybe others did too, is that the term goes into perpetuity. So I'm not sure if that's what we want to do, but like I said, I think it's important for us to do our due diligence and send it to our municipal lawyer. That shit doesn't look like it will cost us anything anyways. So that would be my recommendation.
And mine was the same. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions about it?
My
No?
recommendation as well.
Okay, so that'll go to legal, Bola, and then you'll get back to us. Okay, Ridgefield Power. This is the issue sheet from when we had the brine leak. And this has already been completed, it's my understanding, and it just needs to be brought back for resolution.
You know, the idea is they're going to add the seal into it, should last them about 8 years. Something thinking ahead, the facility is, showing its age and, I think that we should be mining ahead, sooner or later, the floor is gonna have to come up, and those pipes are gonna have to be replaced. Adding the, seal does two things. It creates another line inside, so your diameter, your pipes are gonna get smaller. So the plant's probably gonna have to work harder. But again, it's a big Band-Aid and it does work. But somewhere down the line, we're gonna have more and more breaks, and if this is not gonna work, we're gonna have to start setting up or adding to the reserve for what's it gonna cost to take that floor out and put in new piping. Something we should be looking at. And maybe at that time, whenever that is going to be, maybe there's a thought of extending the ice surface, if that happens, or extending to south of the arena. But again, just something we should be, I'm sure Sam has thought of that, but something we should be looking at.
So is it beneficial to have the ice surface? Like, is ours smaller than other communities?
So, Councillor Manager,
It is.
it is smaller. It's not
Yeah.
always the width or the length.
The length is short by between,
Sorry, go
Both.
ahead, Mayor.
It's
Yeah.
both, it's, yeah, 15 and,
short. 8 or 10,
But-
I think.
So I agree. Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry, it's hard to do this online. Alls I was gonna say is, if you look at the, if you look at that, agreement that, we just did with the Grow Fund, a part of that program is in there to look at our arena. Maybe what we can do is ask Jomar to ensure that, because that's a great point, Councillor Hopper, is that we look at that part of it. Not only do we look at what it takes to build a new arena, but what would it also cost to just upgrade that floor and maybe just a little bit of an expansion. So good point. And I think that the grant money could help cover some of that.
Yeah, and you did touch on, say, new arena. Again, years ago when the addition was done here and rebuilt and everything, we tossed back and forth, well, it was gonna cost X amount of money. Thinking back, we should have done it and just put it over 25 years and it would have been done. And it's never too late to do something like that. It's something the community, I'm sure, would need. And so, but again, big picture, we're gonna think ahead for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And in hindsight, should have done that 15, 20 years ago. It's not getting any cheaper.
Okay. 2026 Manitoba Planning Conference.
So I received these, so I just decided to share it with council. If anyone is interested, you can go through the name and.
Yeah. I suggest that we send a couple of people to this, Bola, maybe somebody from engineering. I don't know if somebody from council wants to attend, but I think this is something that probably we should kind of keep a finger on. And then also it sort of build those connections down south. So, somebody from engineering, maybe Bola, whoever. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, so if somebody is interested, reach out to Bola and the registration will get completed. And that is all that we have. We don't
Sorry,
have any-
Councillor, Deputy Mayor, but what I'm saying though is it's more important. It's great if somebody from council wants to go, that's fine. But what I would say is it's important that we have somebody from engineering or administration attend.
Yeah. So Bola will reach out to her managers
I've had it to my.
and get back to.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Is there anything else that we want to talk about before we move to in camera? We don't have anything that's coming out tonight. So if that's it, then I guess we'll move to in camera and thanks for tuning in. Good night.
Resolved that we do now move ourselves into the in-camera portion of the committee of the whole with deputy mayor acting as the chair to discuss matters required for our attention.
I don't know if Tanvir has to send me a new Zoom link or what.
The same one will work, sir. I have to end the meeting for all, and then you have to rejoin the same link.
So rejoin the same meeting?
Yes, sir.